Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, we designed and launched a set of 4 lithium fuel tanks, and then got them all docked up to the station. Well, not the station, the new vehicle that we're building. And then we designed a new version of the lithium fuel tanks, this time with the actual engines attached to them. We didn't actually launch that during the episode. Then went ahead and designed and eventually did actually launch the main structural spar of the vehicle that carries the radiators and docking ports and basically just kind of utility equipment that are going to be needed for the vessel. So, after that, off screen, I went ahead and got that docked. So that is now, installed. And then I launched and installed the engines, the engine units. So those are up there and installed. I guess we can go ahead and take a look at what it looks like to this point. Oh, actually, there's something I forgot to do. There we go. Alright, so the heavy Reactor module is what is currently called. We're going to be changing its name eventually. This thing should be on a suborbital trajectory, and it is. You are in interplanetary space. Okay, so I don't really care about you. And you... Okay, so this is just debris. I'm not worried about that. Alright, so for this, let's go actually fly it. Let's take a look at it. It's going to hit the frame rate, but that's just the way it is. Alright, so here we are. This is now the assembled fuel tanks and engines. And then this is the structural spar with the radiators deployed and ready to go. I actually have one of the reactors activated at the moment to provide power, because these radiators actually do consume a little bit of power, more than these small solar panels can actually handle. So actually I could probably just go ahead and retract those, because we no longer really need them. Once I actually have some real solar equipment up here, then I can shut that reactor off. But it's fine for now. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to get the Habitation Module, which is going to attach to the frontier, which is where our Kerbals are going to live and work while in flight. And that will be the basic configuration of the vessel. And then we're going to have to start bringing up parts that are going to satisfy the specific mission that we're going to be sending this thing on, which is out to Joule. So, that's going to be kind of what the plan is here moving forward. Alright, so let's get to work on that. Back to the Space Center. First thing I want to do before we go any further is unlock a couple of techs, which is going to actually cost a bit of science. But that's fine. We're going to need to unlock them eventually anyway, so it is what it is. We're going to grab the heavy landing tech. I mean, it has some, nice landing gears and stuff, but the big thing that I want is this inflatable heat shield, because I think I'm going to want that. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And the other thing that I'm going to be looking at is the advanced photovoltaic materials for some proper solar arrays, because I want the solar arrays to be powerful and I want them to be retractable. Right, because a lot of our best solar panels are not retractable once deployed. Like here, like these guys, the blanket photovoltaic arrays are not retractable. Because I want to have the option to aerobrake with this vehicle. Which is one of the reasons why I want this heat shield. So I want to be able to retract those solar panels when we are, in fact, aerobraking. So that's what we're going to go for. So let's go ahead and research that. Now we're going to have 590 left. And what I actually want to start doing is working on... I mean, we have some, like, nuclear engines over here that would be really, really nice to have. But what I'm going to do first is the actuators and everything like that. Yeah, that would be nice. But we're going to start working on aerodynamics. So we haven't unlocked any of our aerodynamic techs. Do I need subsonic flight? No, I don't need subsonic flight. So let's grab aerodynamics. Let's grab our advanced aerodynamics and supersonic flight. And then that's kind of as far as we can go at this point. Because what I really need are the Rapier engines. Could really use those, but I need like another 1800 science, which I think I can probably work out on my own. Grab him some more stuff from the moon and Minmus. So I'll have to see about that on my own. But for now, let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so I was looking around at what we can do. I want a centrifugal habitation component here. And our options for that, at the size we're looking at, I mean, we have this one, which this is not the one we're currently using. This is the one we're currently using on the this is space station. But there is this bigger one here, which is not bad. It is definitely not bad. And what does that have? That has enough room for 8 crew to live comfortably. But, come on. I was looking at these. Well, there's this one, which is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's 15.7 tons fully deployed. And retracted, it actually is a lot less at 6.3 tons. So, could go with that. Or we could go with this, which is 11.2 tons fully deployed. And retracts into that form factor at 4.5 tons. And I'm thinking that I'm going to go with this. It has enough room for 10 Kerbals to work, live and work comfortably. So, we're not going to be bringing that many. Not on this trip, anyway. So, yeah. I think we're going to go with that as the main habitation section. Now, we need a command module to for a pilot to actually control the vessel while under maneuvers. So, that's what we're going to do there. And that itself has enough room for 4 crew. Minimum crew to operate 2. Okay, so I have to make sure that there's at least 2 Kerbals in there when we need to actually take over and fly. Actually, could I, like, rotate that just a little bit? Yeah. Not that it really matters, because the whole thing's going to be spinning anyway. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'm thinking is that while this big round window right in the center is nice, that it'd be more useful to have a docking port there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw a docking port there. Alright, so next thing that we need is going to be like life support. Basically just life support. So, let's look at life support. We have this hydroponics module. We probably want to bring along as much fertilizer as we can. And probably a not insignificant amount of mulch. And an initial stage of supplies. Alright. Crew capacity is 3. Recycler percent, 70%, reduces supplies consumption. So it has an onboard recycler for 3 crew. But we have this aquaculture module, which allows another... Oh, how much does this actually provide? Come on. Recycler... crew capacity of 4 at 81%. So this is a better recycling module than this one is. So there we go. I'm going to try and bring up everything in one shot for the habitation module. No, probably not going to be able to get like the full 10 years worth of supplies out of this thing. Because we'll probably have to bolt on or dock on additional like life support modules to provide the extended duration for the vessel. But definitely want some here. Alright, so viewing cupola. And nothing can actually attach to that. Alright. Observation. This is an actual agroponics. The Nomomatic 5000. Okay, well, I'm not too worried about that. Alright. The other thing this is going to need, and actually probably want to put this before we get to the life support areas, is going to be the actual science bay. The mobile processing lab. Yeah. Now, I want to bring along some experiments kind of built into this ship that we can run. And it might be a good idea to just kind of bolt some of these to the side, right? I don't see why not. And actually, it might be better to bolt these kind of on here. Yeah. So those are the material science pods, the mystery goo units, we have our gravitational detectors, and our barometers, and our thermometers. Anything else I need to kind of attach here? Oh my goodness. I don't think that's gonna work. Though the scanner would be nice to have. It might be something we bring up on a separate part. These are just kind of basic science experiments right now. And actually, let's kind of lay them out like that. Anything else? Atmospheric sounder. Atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer. Accurate fluid spectrovariometry scans around the surrounding atmosphere. No, that'd be more for a lander. Yeah, these experiments are probably good for the actual vessel itself. That's good. Now, life support. We are going to need a lot. Fertilizer tank. Supplies. Fertilizer. Yeah, I think those are pretty straightforward. Mulch, that'll come. Yeah, mulch is kind of the waste byproduct as Kerbals consume supplies. Okay, let's throw 4 Kerbals in here. Who I would probably, well, I don't know who I'm going to be bringing, but just in the configuration that we will be bringing them. So I will be bringing 2 pilots, a scientist, and an engineer minimum. Right. And what kind of plus fertilizer? 48 years. So how much does this actually produce? It takes in 54 mulch per day and 5.4 fertilizer per day and 5.25 electric charge per second and produces 59.4 supplies per day. I don't know how much a Kerbal actually consumes, but we'll just see. We'll see how that works out. I gotta make sure I gotta remove the crew before we launch. Now, speaking of that, we're going to need a control module, basically a remote control module here. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is this really should be sufficient, at least initially. But I'll probably end up bringing some, like, attachment pods with additional ones of those. So, for structural, I will need an adapter now. One that looks pressurized would be good. This one? Yes, that's the one. On there. And then, we're going to need that. also going to need a battery. Now I'll probably stick with the procedural. No. Diameter 2.5. Now it's 4,600 electric charge. That's fine. Stick with the silver motif. And we're also going to need a RCS tank. No, 2.5. 540 RCS. 625. Okay. And then we throw in a docking port. And I think that ought to do it. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. Doesn't do it just yet. We need RCS thrusters. Otherwise, this thing isn't going anywhere. Thruster power. Yeah, these are the ones we need. There we are. And then some other ones. There. And that should do it. Oh, actually, there is one other thing I need. Reaction wheels on here somewhere. And on the life support tanks would probably be the best bet. Oh, trying to get these things off is... There we go. There we are. Okay, I think... ship hab module. Save. Okay, so it's 73.5 tons, which actually isn't the heaviest thing we've lifted. So, lifting this beast should be fairly straightforward. Should be. Alright. So, down here. We need to get the control unit for the upper stage installed. Which is going to be fairly straightforward design I've been using a few times now. With this adapter plate that has the Smaller solar panels. Oh, speaking of solar panels. I haven't put any on here. Right. So actually... No, we can put them down here. Okay. Let's do that. So we just unlocked a bunch of new ones. These are Starship, Blanket, photovoltaic array. They only produce 25 per second. But what do they look like? Ah. Not bad. Not bad. That'd be 100 electric charge per second. I think we need more than that. Serious blanket photovoltaic array, 75 per second. Okay. What do those look like? Much larger. I kind of like it. And they're retractable. So they should be able to retract after we're underway. So 475s is what? 300? 300, yes. 475s is 300. 300 EC per second at full exposure. Now we're going to be a lot farther away from the sun, so... But we also have the reactors, so... It should be fine. Alright. Retract that. Now... I don't think I'm going to launch it... Well, no, we probably might. There's one other thing we need to throw on here. At least for this mission, anyway. Because these are going to be one-time use items. That's really strange. Okay. Well, in order to make that look a little bit better, we'll probably want to put in a structural element. No, not that one. That one. Okay. And then we would throw the heat shield on there. And then if we wanted to do an aero braking maneuver, we would inflate the heat shield to protect everybody there. The thing is, I don't know if that's large enough to protect the engines. Monopropellant tanks. It might need some of those. And can this attach, like, solar panels to the sides? No, they would have to be underneath here. That also probably means I can't throw some RCS thrusters on there. Now this thing just keeps looking larger and larger. But if we do that, then what I can do is actually take those parts off and slide them into there, along with the RCS tanks to make that look a little bit cleaner. And then we would just need some omnidirectional RCS blocks. Like that. Okay. That's odd, but it works. It should work, anyway. See, once that's deployed, it can't be retracted. As far as I understand. And then once we're done the aerobrake maneuver, that we can dispose of it. And I wonder if I can't make this a sub-assembly. Yeah, I can. Inflatable heat shield module. Alright, there we go. Whoa, what did I just do? There we go. So that I can go ahead and put a bunch of these on here as needed. There we go. Alright. That'll do. Now, this rotating element will need material kits in order to be deployed. So I'll have to fly up some material kits to get that going. But I'll probably do that on my own. Alright. Payload. We need big fairing. Excellent. That should work pretty well. Make sure you're clamshell deploying. And now we need to build the rocket that will lift this thing into orbit. And that should be fairly straightforward. I don't think it's going to be very complicated at all. Let's see. You do the same thing I did before, which we're going to use this adapter here. And I'm going to go with 6 engines. 6 engines. And we're going to use those same vacuum engines we did before. That'll give me what? 2,400 meters per second at delta V. That's, that'll do. That'll definitely do. Alright, 5 meter stack decoupler. And then we'll throw this big old tank here. Now I could put this engine cluster on here, there. And it should work perfectly fine. But what if I were to get goofy here and throw another one of these on here? With 6 engines plus the center, right? Because we can throw an engine in the center as well. So 7 total engines. Let's see. This produces 10,017 kilonewtons of thrust at sea level. Those are all what? 1.25 meter mounts? Is there a 1.25 meter engine that has what would we need? Like 2,000 kilonewtons per engine? What's the specific impulse of this guy here at surface level, at sea level? 255. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we've got here. We've got these guys, which are 350 kilonewtons. Nope. 90, 230 kilonewtons. Or 200 kilonewtons. That will not do. That will not do at all. Let's see. Those are even worse specific impulse engines. These guys are 932 kilonewtons with a 300. That's my best bet there. 2,000 would really be 0.96. Almost enough thrust. Almost enough thrust. If I slapped another one in the center, We get 1.11 thrust to weight. It seems like a silly exercise to try to do this. So we definitely need like boosters. Some SRBs to get us going off the pad. If I'm gonna throw some SRBs in there, then let's just go with the main engine. Ah well, it was a thought, right? Because that doesn't give us that much additional delta V, and this gives us a lot more thrust to weight. So it's the best option. All right. I mean, I could go with this engine. It's half the thrust of that. Nah. I still might want a set of SRBs here. Small ones? Thors? Nah, we don't need Thors. Yeah, a couple of small ones. A proper nose cone. Yeah, I like it. Alright, so we'll definitely want the SRBs to go. And then we're going to want you to light as well. So kick it off the pad. Then we'll separate those guys, run. Yeah, that'll definitely... Yeah, they're all going to separate. They're all going to run out at the same time. And then there. Yeah. Very straightforward. Oh, there actually is one other thing that I'm missing. There's one other thing I'm missing. And that's communications. I might want to take that off. Let's see, what's the range on that? 79.1 gigameters. 354 gigameters? Good grief. Then there's these. These are the retractables. I'd have to modify the fairing to fit them. They extend out to there. And how would they interact with the... Ooh, it'll be close. Those will provide the maximum range. Or I can just go with these. I mean, like, these things can, like, communicate from one side of the solar system to the other. I don't think we need that. We just need to get back to Kerbin. So this antenna should be sufficient. Those antennas should be sufficient, and it fits in the fairing. Excellent. Done. Okay. Launch clamps. Alright, launch clamps. And there we are. Make sure we don't have any crew on board. We don't have any crew on board. Good. Oh, we need an action group to deploy the solar panels. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and launch it. What is it saying that we can do? Plant growth experiment, aquatic species observation. No, we don't need to do that. All right, well, I am going to use the ascent guidance just for precision's sake. Let's see. All right, I think we're ready. Let's see what she does. Is that the moon? It is. There go the SRBs. Gave us that initial kick. Put any reaction wheels on that upper stage, so trying to control that after we separate is going to be a little bit of a pain. Alright, there's second stage. Those engines are noisy. but they're efficient. Watching an AppWaps number come up. These are definitely got the thrust to weight, so it'll get us there. Just hope we'll have enough fuel left for the subsequent maneuvers. Alright, there we are. AppWaps, this is where we want it to be. Oh, there go the fairings. Alright, and the solar panels. We only need 154.3 meters per second to circularize into orbit. That's really nice. I was going to be looking at that when fairings deployed. And I don't think we're going to need the Rcs Thrusters for this thing to rotate into the proper position for the next maneuver. So, we'll just let it do its thing. What happens if I turn all the lights on? There we go. I'll keep them off for now. No need to have them on. Draining electricity unnecessarily. Alright, and we are in orbit. Okay. Now, what I want to do, prograde, I need to elevate our orbit to around 200 kilometers. Alright, so that raises that. Good enough. All right, so let's hold the maneuver. This doesn't need to be precise. So I'll just do it myself. Node in 17 minutes. It's gonna be a 4-second burn. Or get this down to about 1 minute. Alright, there we go. 30 seconds away from the burn. Energy flow 77. 45 out of that one, 45 out of that one. There we go. Done. Okay. So now I need to do rendezvous and docking, which might take a little bit. So I'll go ahead and take care of that. I'm, off screen here for a second. I'm going to pause and then I'll be back right as we hopefully should be docking. Alright, just a sec. Oop. Accidentally hit that display. Oh, we're about to dock. So, okay, that's still over there, but comfortably far away. I did retract the solar panels to just keep them out of the way, so we don't accidentally bang into anything, because they are fairly large. Let's flip around the other side. Something is wanting to twist this thing. Well, as long as it docks clean, that's all that matters. Alright, and we're locked. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and redeploy those solar panels. There they go. All right. And that means I can go ahead and shut that reactor off. Conserve that uranium. Oh, it deployed all of these. Go ahead and retract those again. Yeah, if we eventually do a aero brake maneuver, we'll have to shut the reactors down. We'll have to retract the solar panels. We'll have to retract the radiators. And then we'll deploy that guy. And then fly through the aero brake maneuvers. And, yeah. But we'll only be able to do it once. Or we can just leave that thing attached if we, want to do aero braking at all. But once deployed, we can't retract it, so we want to only deploy that when we need to. Alright, well that took a little bit of time there, so I don't really have a ton more time, but I think we're at a good spot. What I'm going to do is go ahead and figure out what I'm going to need to bring up next as far as kind of utility modules. I know we're going to need to bring up more life support. And we need to start working on what the landers are going to look like, what kind of fuel they're going to use, all that sort of stuff. And then we're going to need to bring up some fuel supplies. But right now we're looking at 15,000 meters per second of delta V with the new module attached. So we still have a lot of wiggle room. We need around 10 to 11,000 for the mission. So we still have some wiggle room. And if I needed to, I could bring up some spare tanks and dock them on if I had to. But for now, that's pretty good. I like that. And now that the ship's complete, we actually need to give her a name. So we're going to rename that vessel. And we're going to make this a ship. This is now a ship, not a probe or a station. It never really was a station, but what are you booping at me out for? Okay, this is going to be the KSS Ballista. There we go. So, we'll go ahead and stop here for today. And then, yeah, we'll start putting some stuff together for the specific mission at hand next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.